the most memorable hunt that stands out to me. I'm so proud of you. A couple of years later.
3 years in a row.
Put a double, baby!
I'm awesome!
It's all a progression.
First buck.
Whatever you do, get them out in the woods, right?
Yep.
Most of us started out hunting as a child, going with dad or grandpa or an uncle or something. And as a result, when we become adults, youth hunting becomes a big part of our passion for the outdoors. And just like me, I shot my first deer when I was 12 years old, but I'd been gun hunting with my dad for years.
And as soon as my kids were old enough to want to get out in the woods, I couldn't wait to take them with us. As a matter of fact, to this day, my most memorable hunt is when we took Hannah on her first hunt at the age of 9. We went turkey hunting down at Full Strut Guide Service, and I'm pretty sure even Dave got emotional.
See the ones on the left? The one walking? Maybe one of those. See the one with his head up? Mm-hmm. Can you aim at him?
Not in a straight line.
Huh?
Not in a straight line.
I need you to get in a straight line. Can you what do you need it to do? Go up or down or left or right?
Right.
Right? Just pick one of them and aim at him and shoot. Okay?
Go up.
Whenever you're ready. Go ahead whenever you're ready. Good job. Awesome.
Yes! I'm so proud of you. Here, let's take your face mask off so everybody can see your face. There she is. Got you your first bird, mature, full fan tom. A couple of years later, my son Jackson was finally ready to join me and Hannah for that turkey youth season. So we loaded up and headed back down to Full Strut Guide Service. But this time Dave was off on another hunt somewhere, but I thought, no worries, I can film this myself. I had no idea what was gonna happen on this hunt.
If he didn't have a couple of cameras rolling, I wouldn't have believed it either.
Get on one?
Yeah.
You have to let them split up a little bit because they're still kind of grouped up. Alright, the one on the right. Ready? Slow. Shoot him. Woohoo. Alright. 3 years in a row. Shh. Just right here, Jax. You want to shoot one?
I don't want them to eat my bug.
Jax, you want to shoot one?
We'll hit this.
Shh, be still. Slow. Be slow. Be slow. Be slow. Sure.
I can.
Take it well.
I need to go like this.
Okay.
Or like this, actually.
Okay, got it. Put the red dot between the green ones. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, let me see. Wave your hand. Okay. Get ready before you...
We're ready.
Ready?
Right. Dude, 2 birds. That's awesome. Dude, your first bird. Oh, that's awesome. Go get the birds.
Stuck on the ground. Okay.
Go get your birds. Put a double, baby. What do you think, buddy? How'd you kill yours after Hannah killed hers?
Well, mine was chewing on Hannah's, and I killed him. Full step guide service.
Where are we at?
Full step guide service. I'm awesome!
Push the trigger guard forward. That's your safety. Safety's off. Squeeze it, and you're done. Safety back on, and jack another round. Okay? Get out. So when you see my kids shooting, they didn't just come from never shooting a gun to throwing a rifle or a shotgun in their hand. It was a progression, and really what you could see from that last clip from them when they were both killing those turkeys, Hannah was really timid. She really never even tried to put her finger on the trigger until the safety was off and she was ready to shoot. You could even hear her say that she was scared before she pulled the trigger. My son, on the other hand, he's grown up from the time he could walk, aiming down the barrel of a stick he found in the backyard, and then Nerf guns and airsoft and pellet guns, so it was a really natural progression. His comfort level with a real gun, if you'll call it that, was tenfold over her. So with a kid like this, I mean, there's 2 types of kids. Some are timid. I don't want to say timid. Their comfort level isn't as high as the other one. Most of the time, boys are great. They've grown up playing with little sticks, guns, to all, you know, even video games where they learn how to run a scope and all that stuff. For her, we had to get a gun like this and teach her about the reticles in the scope and the crosshairs. The Marauder's a great gun to teach her about how to run a bolt action, because, you know, when she's gonna get into a rifle, it's gonna be a bolt action gun. So it's all a progression. When I put a real gun in his hand, man, he was ready to go. The biggest problem I had with him was making sure he doesn't put his finger on the trigger before he's ready to shoot. For her, I'll show you a couple of things that I had to do to get her ready for a real gun. All right, Squirt, let me swap this out. Go ahead and put your earphones on. Definitely, always, always, always make sure that your kids have ear protection. They've got really sensitive ears, you don't want to ruin them. And also, because their ears are so sensitive, a lot of them are just scared by loud noises, and that will turn them off from shooting real quick. Got the bolt open, it's not loaded. Leslie's another great tool for teaching kids how to shoot. I mean, she's shooting a 22-250. There's not much recoil anyway. It's a super accurate rifle, great starter gun. One of the best tips I could give you, safety's on. What I did with Hannah, because she was scared to death of the recoil of the gun, and it took a long time that day for me to get her to sit down and shoot the gun, and inevitably what she wanted me to do was she put her hand right here. I was shooting the gun, and she put her hand in here while I reached up and I shot the gun. So with her hand in my shoulder, she could feel that there was hardly any recoil at all. And after feeling that, we swapped. She wanted me to put my hand in there and graduated to the point where she was shooting the gun. So it's just a great tip. Let them put their hand in between your shoulder and the gun so they can feel what recoil is or isn't there before they're the one squeezing the trigger. So with that, bullets in the chamber, safety is on. When you're ready, find your target, safety off, squeeze. Safety is on. Same thing when you're ready, safety off, squeeze the trigger. Nice. And that's pretty much it. I mean, as you can tell now, she has no problem saddling up, finding her target, and squeezing the trigger. Again, great thing about a gun like a 22-250, very low recoil, This has a short stock. I mean, there's plenty of youth guns, but whatever you do, get them out in the woods, right?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, let's go see how you did.
Okay.
A great friend of mine, Dusty Skaggs, has planted this beautiful little Whitetail Institute food plot just for kids. He was nice enough to invite Hannah down to see if she could kill her very first deer. But the weather wasn't that great, so all we were seeing were small bucks.
But at this stage in the game with a youth hunter, trust me, the worst thing you can do is make antler size and score the definition of a trophy.
There you go. You should get some too.
Okay,
Okay.
gotta break the ice and get that first one dead.
Yep, let's go. That's pretty good.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Dusty. Appreciate it, man. Hey, you want to go look at him? I'm pretty sure he's just right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You heard him smash the ground.
I'm 99.9% sure he didn't go very far. You see him yet?
Yeah,
Where did he fall?
over there.
That's almost as good as dropping him in your tracks right there.
Heavier than I thought it would be.
First buck. Your first deer ever.
Right where
Thank you, Dusty. Appreciate
Awesome.
it, man.
It's awesome.
I'm gonna make you drag him out of here.
I can barely do a turkey. Why don't we go get a pole?
What are you gonna do with the pole?
Tie his feet to it.
Carry him out like old Indians did?
Yep.
There you go. Well, I better go find
Go
you.
get a sled.
Better go find you a stick.
Found me a sled.
Sled.
Sliding down. I'll slide
Yeah.
down with him.
You gonna ride down the hill with him?
Yep.
It's awesome.
All right, that's cool.
You poked him.
I can remember being all jacked up the first time Dad took a deer that I killed to the taxidermist. And just like Hannah's deer, it wasn't a great big buck, but it was a great big memory. And to this day, that buck is still hanging on the wall in my house.
So I was definitely gonna make sure that Hannah got her first deer mounted. We took it up to Collier's Shooting Stuff Taxidermy, and Brad Collier did a great job of going over all the options so Hannah could pick out her very first deer mount. Brad, this is my daughter Hannah.
Hi.
Hannah, this is Mr. Collier.
Nice to meet you.
She's the star this time. She got her first buck.
They've got 3 poses. They're straight upright where their head's really high in the air, a semi-upright, your normal walking pose, and then a full sneak is straight out of the wall.
Your deer. You pick.
That one.
Square shoulder? Okay.
Okay.
Then we need the deer facing left.
And then the only other thing we really have to pick is the ears. With the smaller horns, you're going to want them alert.
Okay. Hannah's like, you do my deer, and she'll teach you how to do a backflip.
Okay. I don't know that I can do a backflip.
Not in these boots anyway.
Yeah. I'll give you a call as soon as it's done.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate
All right,
it.
thanks for coming by.
Good to see you.
All right, be careful.
The time between dropping that deer off and when Brad called back to tell us it was done, you'd have thought Hannah was waiting on Christmas. And he pretty. Tell us him, he broke all 4 of his points off.
Yeah, and he went through a barbed wire fence because he had a scar all the way up his face there.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah, look at that.
Barbed wire got him.
It looks better now than it did standing out there in the field. That's gonna look good in your room. Actually, I like the highlights of the pink in this, you know, a younger deer like this in her room. Obviously, she's a fan of pink.
It is.
Yeah, that'll be great. Well, what do you think, Hannah? You think he's gonna go good with all your cheerleading stuff? You gonna fight that fight? Are you? How hard you gonna fight for it? I don't wanna be in there by myself telling mommy. Tell her right now. Tell her. She'll see it on national TV. Tell her it's going in my room. Tell her.
It's going in my room.
Daddy says.
All right, man. We'll see you next time we kill a big buck.
All right, I
Hopefully,
appreciate it.
Only about 2 months from now.
Yeah, it's getting close.
It is.
Well, congratulations. You're welcome.
That looks perfect.
Yeah, I love it, having a deer stare at me when I wake up in the morning.
Don't think that was exactly the point.
I like having my deer in here as a memory of when I shot my first deer, and I've worked so hard to get it. And my dad's helped me a lot. Going along with my cheer and track trophies that my mom worked so hard with me for.
And you have the perfect room. You've got your deer, you've got your bows, and you've got your cheer trophies.
Yep.
The perfect girl.
Pretty much.
Say bye.
Bye.
Just like those cheerleading trophies, that deer mount on Hannah's wall is not about a size thing. It's a symbol, it's a reminder of when all of the teaching and all of the learning and all of the preparation and hard work she put into that all came together and helped her be successful.
And a lot of times there are other people along the way that helped you get there. I've got to give a big shout out and thank you to people like Brant and Dusty, who have always had an open door for our kids to come out and be able to hunt. For Brad for doing such a great job on a little girl's first deer mount. And especially to Dave and his dad and brother, who have been a great example to me of how this dad and kid hunting thing really work.
Well, I know I was an influence on Hannah. Did you see the way she shot?
So we went back down to full strut guide. So we headed back down to full strut guide service. Full strut guide service, full strut guide service, full strut guide service. So we headed back down to full strut guide service. One more time.
Give it to me one more time. I don't know the words of that
Na
rhyme.
na 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 na.
I like it.
Okay.